Okay, so this is the final video that I'm going to be making on the NewBeeDrone CinemAh frame. I'm really sorry that it's taken so long to make this final video. I have been playing around with getting the PID tune right on this one. Wasn't really satisfied with the final tune. It's okay for slow cinematic flying, but of course I tried to make this kind of lightweight, and I wanted to try and do a little bit of freestyle acro with it. But whenever I put any type of mid to high throttle on this, I get a lot of vibrations and oscillations that I have not been able to tune out, even with a lot of filtering. I've tried various versions of Betaflight 4.2. I moved on to 4.3. Tried 3 different RC versions and also the final version. But I think, at the end of the day, as with a lot of builds, I would recommend going with parts that that you've seen that work from someone else's built, their own build, for example. Then you've seen it fly, and they have attested that their parts work well together and fly on a pretty simple PID tune, not a lot of fancy PID tuning needed. Now, I think in my case, I went with a big motor on this sort of light frame and a very light setup. You can watch the build video. I'll link that in the video description. I won't talk about all that stuff here, but the moral of the story here is I think what I would do if you are interested in this frame, I would recommend going with how the bind and fly is set up, where they're using a 20 by 20 stack here, and the ESC is closer to the top plate, and the flight controller is a little bit further away. I'm getting vibrations because the motors in this prop, which by the way, I have tried different props, and they all have the same behavior. I think the vibrations from the motors are going through this frame and resonating into the flight controller's gyro, causing the oscillations. I have tried different types of screws, metal, nylon. I've tried additional rubber grommets and spacers in there to provide additional vibration dampening to this flight controller. And I think if you are going to be building this, I would recommend not going my route here with this sort of the flight controller all in one, close to the top plate. Maybe if you are going to do that, maybe move it further away with longer screws with more dampening, or go with the route with the 2 stack 20 by 20. It will be a little bit heavier, but I think isolating that vibrations will allow you to have the ability to go full throttle without the whole quad shaking. Yeah, probably showing you some footage here of the from the DJI camera. You can see a little bit of shaking whenever I fly a little bit more aggressively. For slow cinematic flying, it's fine. No vibrations. I get pretty smooth video, and also show you some of that GoPro footage as well, which is of course hyper smooth, whatever real steady go. I forget which one this is. I think this is hyper smooth. Yeah, but at the end of the day, I think when it comes to trying to make a custom build, I would recommend not just randomly trying something like I did here, which I often do, and I often find that for me, a lot of the times, I would say, out of all the builds I've done hundreds of builds. I would say I have maybe about a 25 to 30% success rate where I just randomly put parts together and it just works really great. Most of the time, I have this sort of issue where typically there's some sort of an issue, vibrations, typically, because I'm, basically when you're trying out parts that no one else has tried out before, most of the time you should expect the unexpected. And in this case, I tried a big motor here, which in the bind and fly they're using like a 1407, I think. It's a taller stator motor, not a wide. This is a 2105.5, so it's a very wide motor. I wanted to go for like a lot of like low end torque, which is good for Cinewhoop, but I think the bind and fly is kind of built more for more aggressive flying, high end throttle. So yeah, if you are interested in this frame, I would recommend just getting the bind and fly and not trying to build it yourself. I think, obviously the bind and fly will come with the PID tune. I've seen some other videos, and the footage seems good. And at least some of the reviews, they said, I can't make any claims to what the bind and fly flies like, but according to their claims, they're saying that it flies really well. So I'm assuming it comes with a nice PID tune. So yeah, basically I'm not going to be messing around with this anymore. I've put about my estimation maybe 30 hours on this project in total. Many test flights back and forth on the PID tuning, and this is kind of thing with when you are trying to do your own custom builds, you should expect to put in a lot of time trying to PID tune, which is I think why bind and fly is really popular, because you can just basically, it's got a PID tune on already and it should work, and most of the time you can just go out and fly it and you're off and running. But you know, I know there's a lot of you guys that like to do your own builds. Just again, caution you that when you do that, you know, you should expect to put in additional time for the PID tuning, which can sometimes be quite substantial. And in some cases here, for me, I'm going to basically cut off my time on this, because I can't put endless amounts of time on this without you know, making a video. I got to at least let you guys know what's going on, because I've had numerous questions about where's this video. It's been like 2 months. Well, yeah, I'm still working on the PID tune, and at this point I'm giving up. I may continue to work on it later, so who knows, I might put a 20 by 20 stack in here at some point when I have time, but I don't know when that's going to be. And I wanted to let the people that were interested in this model know where I stood on things with the PID tune and that, because that's why this video is out. But yeah, unfortunately, that's the end of this project, and I'm going to be moving on to other stuff. Here's some more footage for you. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I'll talk to you guys in the next one.